everybody, my name is Thomas and welcome to this 35-minute iPad tutorial for beginners and seniors. Today we're going to be discussing a lot about your iPad. We're going to first teach you about what the different buttons on the iPad do. Then we're going to set up your iPad and we're going to discuss a lot of the different apps and functionalities on your iPad so that you can get started and not be completely confused right out of the box. Keep in mind this tutorial is pretty long, but we give useful information throughout the entire tutorial. So I recommend you find yourself someplace comfy, maybe grab something to drink and sit down with your iPad and follow this tutorial. And one more thing I want to point out before we get started is I sometimes talk kind of fast, so if you want to just slow down the video, then hit the gear icon at the bottom of your screen and hit playback speed, and you can adjust how fast the video plays. Also, if you can't hear me for some reason, you can also turn on your captions by hitting the CC button at the bottom of your screen. Anyways, let's get started. Okay, so before you do anything, I definitely recommend sticking a case and a screen protector on your iPad. There's a link to a good case and a good screen protector, and they're pretty cheap in the description below. And now let's start discussing buttons. So this button on the bottom of your iPad, the one I'm about to press right now, this is the home button, and you press it, it should just turn on your iPad screen. The next button is on the top of the iPad, it's the power button. And next to the power button, also on the top of the iPad, is the headphone jack for listening to music. And on the side of the iPad, here we have our volume buttons. On the bottom of the device, you'll see the lightning charging port, and to charge your device, just plug this end of the lightning cable that came with your iPad into that port. Plug the other end into the adapter that came with your iPad, and unflip the prongs and plug it into the wall, and then your iPad should charge. Alright, enough of those buttons, let's set up your iPad. So just press the power button, then you'll see this hello screen and you'll press the home button. You'll select your language, which mine is English right at the top. And you'll select your country or your region, United States for me. And now you're going to set up manually, just hit the button on the bottom, set up manually. And you're going to choose a Wi-Fi network. You can theoretically set it up with a computer, but nobody does that anymore. So just select your Wi-Fi network, mine is Otis. So I'm just going to tap on it, type in your password, and tap join. Now just wait for it to load and connect to your network. And it might take a little while to activate your iPad, so you just wait for that. Now you'll see this data and privacy screen, so just tap continue, it's a blue button, and now you'll get to the touch ID screen, or you're going to tap continue, and this is going to help you set up your fingerprint recognition. So place your finger on the home button, don't click it, everybody clicks it, that's not how it works. You're just going to want to place your finger and lift your finger repeatedly to fill in the little red fingerprint glyph on your device. So I'm just going to keep on doing that, and it will slowly fill in the little glyph, and wait for it. Alright, now I'm done, so I'm going to tap continue, and it says adjust your grip, and now I'm just going to stick the edges of my finger and the front of my finger on the fingerprint sensor, just so I can get a feel of all the edges of my finger, and when it says complete, you'll continue. Now you'll get the screen that will tell you to create a password, and you have by default the option is 6 digits, but if you tap passcode options, you can create a custom passcode with letters and numbers, a custom numeric code, or a 4-digit passcode. But for security, I like to have the 6-digit passcode, and to be very secure, I'm just typing in 1 2 3 4 5 6. This passcode can be easily guessed. Well, who's gonna type that in? I just use it anyway. And I'll type in 1 2 3 4 5 6. Honestly, this is a pretty secure passcode. If I was running the CIA or something, I'd either use this passcode or I'd use password 123. Anyway, apps and data. So I'm going to not transfer the apps and data, and now I'm going to set up my Apple ID. If you already have one, just sign in, but if you don't, then tap forgot password or don't have an Apple ID, and here you're going to click don't have an Apple ID. And then I'll ask you for some of your info, like your name and your birthday. So I'm just going to type in my name and my totally accurate birthday, 1994. Yeah, that's when I was born. Now I'll tap on next. And email address, you can either give them your email or you can just get a free iCloud email address by tapping don't have an email. I'm just going to do that for this demo. and now you're gonna tap get an iCloud email address, and you'll type in what you want. So I'm just gonna do tjadalademo@icloud.com, and when I'm done I'll hit next and hit create email address. And now it's gonna want my password. Now keep in mind this has got to be like 8 digits. It's got to contain an uppercase character and a lowercase character and a number. So you're gonna want to write this down because chances are you're gonna forget it. Once you finish typing in your painstakingly long passcode and written it down, then you're just gonna hit the next button, and they're gonna want your phone number, and they'll want to verify with like a text or a call. I'll hit text message because I'm gonna do it on my cell phone, and I'll give them my number. And now that's all typed in, I'll hit next, and they will send me a text message verification code, which is on my cell phone right here. And I'm just gonna give them my verification code. So now I'm gonna type in the numbers, 219493, and I'm gonna agree to the terms and conditions. You know, nobody really reads what's in there, but you gotta click agree if you want to use the device. So now it's gonna try to activate. So now that it's finally done, I'll get this express settings screen, and I'm just gonna tap continue unless you want to have custom settings. And now I'll get this keep your iPad up to date. I'll tap continue one more time. It didn't register my click. Hello? Hello? Anybody in there? Oh, it's loading. Never mind. Okay, it might load when you tap continue. It's not that it dislikes your finger, it's just gotta load. Now you get this Apple Pay screen, and you're just gonna tap setup later in settings because nobody really wants to set that up. And you'll get iCloud keychain, and you'll tap continue. And next you'll get Siri, and I just gotta listen and do what it tells me to do. Hey Siri. Hey Siri, send a message.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Okay, sorry, my computer Siri is trying to listen to me when I say hey Siri. But yeah, you're just gonna say hey Siri and say what it tells you to say, and it will finally set up. So as you can see, I'm finally complete. And here I'll just tap continue, and I'm not gonna send Apple my Siri audio recordings, so I'm just gonna tap not now. And screen time, I don't care, I'm just gonna set up later in settings. And app analytics, I can share with Apple developers, but it doesn't really matter what you click. And appearance, there's either light mode or dark mode. It depends on personal preference. I like the light mode personally. And you'll tap continue. Now you're just gonna tap continue a bunch of times because these are just telling you how to use things, and we'll go over those. Welcome to iPad. Get started. And now your iPad's pretty much all set up. Now that the iPad's set up, I'm just going to tell you how to do a couple things. Press the power button to access the lock screen, which just looks like this. And if you slide to the left, you can open up the Today view, which just shows some widgets of like the news, the weather, stuff like that, your calendar. And if you slide to the right, it will open up the camera, and I can take a bad picture of myself. Hello. And to get back, just hit the home button, and it will take you here. And to unlock your device, use the fingerprint that you registered to press the home button, and it will unlock the device. So now that you're on the home screen of your device, you have these little boxes that are just app icons. When you open them, it opens up a little program, and below them all you have this little thing called your dock, which is just gives you easy access to specific apps. And if you want to see more app icons, you can just swipe, and there's a bunch of different apps pre-installed, and you can install more from the App Store. Slide to the left and you'll open up the Today view, which we already talked about. And if you slide it down from the top right corner of your device, you'll open up the Control Center, which gives you access to functions like your brightness, your volume, silent mode, airplane mode, things like that. So there's just a lot of general system settings and system functions you can access through here. And to tap out, you just tap out. And the next function of the device we're going to look at is the Notification Center, which to get there you swipe down from the middle of the device, like near the camera, and you're going to want to swipe down all the way to the home button, and it'll open up this screen that looks like the lock screen, and it has all your notifications. Currently I have no notifications, but if I get a text or something, I'll get a notification. To click out of here, just click the home button and it will take you back to the home screen. Some other functions you might be interested in is you can just turn the device sideways to achieve a landscape view just like this. has some sensors in it, so it will just automatically detect when you turn the device, and you don't have to press any button to change it to landscape view. So copy and pasting is also a pretty essential function of the device. So when you have some text you want to copy, then you can just double tap on it, and you will tap copy. And pasting is pretty much the same thing. Double tap in any text box and tap the paste button to paste what you had copied to your clipboard. The next essential function is how to shut down. Just hold down the power button and you'll slide this little bar to shut down. And there's a myth going around that you need to shut down your device when you're not using it. That's completely false. It doesn't really affect the battery life that much. To turn your device back on, just hold down the power button till you see the Apple logo. Then you might need to wait a minute or two, and eventually your device will boot up. Okay, the next thing you want to do is once your iPad's turned on, open up settings, and you just want to make sure that two functions are turned on. So scroll down and tap on messages, and make sure that iMessage is turned on. It looks like mine, and FaceTime should also be turned on like mine. And if you want to set a wallpaper, it could be kind of fun, just tap wallpaper, and you'll tap choose a new wallpaper. And you can either choose something from your photos or choose one of Apple's pre-made wallpapers by tapping there, scrolling to find it, and tapping. I'm just going to use this Earth wallpaper, and you'll see a cancel button to either cancel or a set button to set your wallpaper. And you can either set it on your lock screen, your home screen, or both. I'm going to set it as both. And now, as you can see, if I shut off my device and turn it back on, here it's set on my lock screen and my home screen. Alright, now let's get into the fun stuff. Well, more useful than fun. So you already have your iCloud email, and you can use that. But if you have another email, then open settings. And you're going to want to scroll down till you see passwords and accounts. And then under accounts, you can tap add account. Right here you see accounts, and under that add account, and you'll tap your email provider. Mine would be Google since I have a Gmail account, and you can add your email. Just tap continue, and then you're going to sign into your email right here. Now once you're signed in, you'll get this little screen, and just make sure that mail is switched on, will be green, and you'll just tap save to add the account. Alright, now that we've got your email added, we're going to go to the home screen. And we can open up the mail app, which looks like a blue icon with a letter, and you'll see no message selected. So basically this means that you don't have an email that you're viewing. So just have the little back button in the top left corner, and you can select one of your emails to view them. And you can also, if you have multiple inboxes, tap mailboxes, and you can see all of your different emails. I'm just going to tap on iCloud because that's the email I want to see right now. And it takes me back to my inbox, and here I can do a few things. So when I tap on an email, it lets me view it, and I can just tap on an email to view it. And if I want to either delete the email, I'll just tap the little trash can icon. And if I want to reply or forward the email, then in the bottom right of your screen there's this little reply button, and here I can reply or I can forward the email, or there's a host of other options. And if I want to reply, I'll just tap reply, and I'll type in my message, and I'll tap the little blue send button in the top right corner of that tab. But what if you want to send an email? It's pretty easy. In the top right corner of your screen, there's a little blue button. That is the compose a new message button, and here you'll type in who you want to email it to. I'll just type in random letters, and you'll type in the subject line. I'll just type in random stuff, and the body of the email. And if you have multiple accounts on one device, you can just tap on the from, and here you can just tap which email you want to send the email from, and then you can send by hitting the blue arrow button in the top right corner. Alright, so those are pretty much the basics of sending an email on your iPad. So let's go to the home screen again. Now we're going to discuss how to send a text. So you're going to send a text with the Messages app, which is the green icon with the text bubble. Just tap it, open it, and you'll see the screen. This is Messages, and it just has a little blue button, and you can tap that to send somebody a message. Just type in their phone number or their email address. I'll just send myself a text message on my phone. And once you typed in the number, tap return, and you'll see a little field on the bottom of your device that says iMessage. I'm tapping right now. This is where you type the message you want to send, and once you're ready to send it, press the blue send button. So the message you sent will be blue, and then I'm just going to send myself a text so you can see. When you do receive a text message, it will appear on the left side of your screen and it will be gray. So I just got a text, and I can reply by either sending a text message, or I can hold down on their message and leave a like or a love or a haha little notification. And the third thing I could do is if I tap this little camera icon that's to the left of the message field, then I can actually send them a picture. So I'm just going to take a picture right quick, and I can tap the blue button to send that photo. A few more things to note about texting. In the top of your screen, you'll see the person you're texting, and in the left column of your screen, you'll see all your different messages that you can search through and tap on one of them to see the messages between you and that specific person. Alright, now let's discuss FaceTime. So it's basically like Skype calling. It's like a free video or audio call that works over the internet. And to open FaceTime, it's this little green camera icon. You'll tap on it, and you'll get this one screen right here, and just tap the plus button, and you'll type in who you want to call. I'll just call myself. And when the number's typed in, you'll just tap on audio or video to make an audio or video call. I'm making a video call, and you'll get this little FaceTime calling screen. And here you have a couple options. You have the end button, which is the little red button. Next to it, you have a button to swap between your back and your front phone camera. And next to that, you have a button to mute your microphone so they can't hear you. So in the event that your friend doesn't answer, you get this little FaceTime unavailable screen. Here you can either call them back, you can send them a message or reply, or you can just cancel with X. That's what I'm gonna do. Alright, so we discussed how to call and text people, but how do you remember what their names and numbers are? So we're just gonna add contacts for them so that your device remembers for you. You'll tap the little contacts app. It's a little gray one with a person in it, and here you'll see all your contacts. When you tap on one, you'll see their info, like their phone number, their name, and to create a contact, you'll just tap the little plus button in the top left of your screen, and you can enter, their name. You can add a photo for them, and you can type in their information, and when you're done, you'll just tap the blue done button at the top of your screen. The next thing we're going to discuss is how to use the camera. So you'll just tap the camera icon on your home screen. It's just the camera, and you'll open up the camera, and here there's a bunch of options. So I'm just looking at the back camera, and the first option I see is right above the white button. It's a little camera button with a swap, and it will swap between the front and the back camera. And now you can just tap the white button to take a photo, or a selfie in my case, and under the white button you can access your photos, and you can just slide through them to see the different photos. And in the case that you want to send a photo, just tap the screen, and there's a little share button at the top. It looks like a square with a arrow coming out of it. Sorry for the bad filming. And here you'll select which ones you want to send and who you want to send to. If you don't want to do that, you want to delete a photo, you'll just tap the trash can and tap delete the photo. And if you want to get back, you'll tap the little back button in the top left corner, and that takes you to the camera. Below that, you'll see all of these little text things that say pano, square, photo, and they just switch between the different camera modes, so you can take a video, a panorama, etc. And the final thing I want to show you is this little lightning bolt, which you can tap on it, and you can trigger flash. So if you take a selfie, it has flash. One more tip: if you accidentally delete a photo, it's no big deal. Open the Photos app, which is this little flower icon, and you'll scroll down and tap recently deleted, and those are all your deleted photos. And you can just tap on one and tap on recover, and it will recover it back to your photo library. The next thing we're going to discuss is how to download apps. It's pretty easy. Just tap the blue A, which is an app store icon on your home screen, and when you first open, you'll get a couple pop-ups. Just tap continue when you see this one, and you can tap allow if you want to give them your location. I usually do for custom app promotions. And now you're in this today tab. It's basically, it has a bunch of little tiles which advertise different games and apps, and you can tap on one of them. Here I'm just going to tap on this one, and as you can see, we'll open up a little tile and give me more information about the app. Now if I want to get the app, I can just hit the little get button. Didn't mean to do that. Just tap the little blue get button, and if you want to get out of this screen, just tap outside the little tile and it will exit. Now we're going to look at the search tab, which is in the bottom right corner. This is basically how you search for a specific app in the App Store. Like, for example, you can type in the top YouTube, and it will search for the YouTube app if I type in YouTube in his search. Here's YouTube at the top, so if I want to get more info about it, I'll just tap on it. And as you can see, I have all these app screenshots which I can tap on to expand and see how the app looks, and I can tap done to click out of that. I see all the app reviews on the bottom of the screen, and if I want to download the app, I'll just scroll to the top of the screen and tap the blue get button. And if you've never downloaded an app on this device before, you may see this pop up to sign in with your Apple ID. I'll just tap use existing Apple ID, and remember we created one when we set up the device. So now I can type in my email and my password and sign in. And remember when I said you'd probably forget your password? Well, I forgot mine, and you get this pop-up verification failed. Try again if you forget your passcode, and you have to type it back in. Alright, I'm going to be retyping my password right now, and once it's finished, I'll just tap OK, and it will sign me in. Now it will pop up to review some iTunes terms, and I'll just tap review. And it's going to want me to, of course, accept their terms and conditions. Once it loads up, you'll just tap the little button next to agree to terms and conditions. It'll turn green, and you'll go to the next screen. And here they want you to give them either payment information, or you can just tap none if you don't want to give a credit card, and your billing address so that they can bill you for when you buy a paid app or something like that. Once it's typed in, just go to the next screen and you'll see Apple ID completed, and you'll tap continue again, and you'll tap get one more time, and it will prompt you to install the app, and it may prompt you for your password one more time. Once you type in your password like this on this screen for the first time, it will generally only require a fingerprint after to install apps, so it's much easier. So here you can sign in, and it will install the app. Now as you can see, I have this little installing bar right up here, and it has a little square in it. If I tap it, it will cancel the install. If I go to my home screen, here I can see that YouTube is installing, and once it finishes installing, this little loading bar on YouTube will close up. Here, let's just wait a couple more seconds for it, and it looks like it's closing. And now I can just open YouTube and enjoy the app. So now that we've shown you how to install your own apps, let's show you how to use some of the system apps. So the first one we're going to showcase is the News app, which is this little white icon with a pink N inside it. You can open it, and it'll say welcome to Apple News when you first open it. And you're going to just wait for it to load a little bit, and you'll tap the continue button. And it will ask for your location to get local news, so I'm just going to allow. And now you'll get this pop-up. Just close out of it. It's just a little ad. And here you have all of the latest news articles. Let's just tap on a news article. And here I have the article which I can scroll through to read. And if I want to, I can make the text actually bigger by clicking on the top. There's a little AA. And if I, sorry, I accidentally clicked out. Let me click it one more time. And as you can see, there's a big A and a small a to make the text bigger or smaller. And I can just click out to close it and read my article. To send the article to somebody, I'll tap the little arrow inside of a square share button. And I can send it to somebody via text, email, or whatever. And to get out of this screen, I can just tap the little back button at the top left of my screen. And here I'm back. Now I can always just scroll up to the top of the screen and slide down if I want to refresh my articles. And if I want to add my own news station that I like, I can tap this little button in the top left corner. And in the search bar, I'll type in what news station I like. For example, BBC News. I'll type in BBC and I tap the little plus button, and now BBC is going to appear in my feed. And to get out of the screen, you're just going to tap the little cancel button, and you'll tap anywhere other than the left column, and it will close it. Alright, so next we're going to show you how to use Safari to browse the web. And now Safari is like a little blue compass icon, and it's just your internet browser. So it's pretty simple, you know. It has all the standard bits of a browser. Here are your favorites, and you can just tap Google and it will open up Google for you, and you can just type something in Google and search for it. Let's just type in iPad, and here's going to show me all the iPads, and I can navigate it just like I would on Google normally. In the top, I can type in a URL. For example, if I want to go to a specific site like apple.com, then I'll type apple.com and hit go. It'll take me to Apple. Now there's a few options I have here. I can send the website to somebody with a little share button, and I can text it or email or however I want to send it. I can also add a website as a bookmark by tapping the share button, tapping add bookmark, and here it will ask me for some details, and I'll just add the bookmark. Now if I want to reload the page, I'll just tap the little reload button next to the URL. And if I want to open up a new tab, I'll tap the little plus button. It'll open up a new tab, and I can always tap the little X on the tab to close it. If I want to check all of my tabs, I can press this little button in the top right corner, and here I can see my tabs and open up a new or a private tab, and it will just open up the tab. In the top left, I can tap the little book icon to see my bookmarks, my reading list, which is like saved things, and my search history right here. And if you're reading an article, one cool thing you can always do is you can tap the little AA icon in the top left next to the URL. And here you can tap show reader view, and it will just close out all of the advertisements and just give you the article like a normal text article. And I can tap it again and change the font size. I can just, by tapping these little A buttons, I can change the color of the web page, the font, etc. And it's just a pretty nice feature to have. So the next thing we're going to show you how to use is the calendar app. So the icon for the calendar is just whatever the date is. Today is the 29th, so it's at 29, and I can just tap on it to open it. When I first open it, I'll get this what's new screen, and I can allow my location if I want to. And here I'll see throughout the day what events I have planned, and I can also tap on the top on different dates, and I can scroll through those little dates and tap on different dates to see what's planned. And I can also tap on the day, the month, or the week, the month, the year, and I can see whatever events I have planned through those time periods. So I'm going to go to the month, and I can hold down on a date to add a new event. So I'm just going to type in example event. You can add a location if you want. You can set whether it's all day or during specific dates, and multiple dates, for example. And you can also add notes and stuff. And once you have everything done, you'll just tap add. And here is my new event on my calendar. Now to view it, I can just tap on it and it will tell me the event. And of course, I can delete the event or edit. And I'm just going to delete it, and boom, it's gone. That's pretty much all you need to know about the calendar. It's just like a basic calendar, and it works. It does what it's supposed to. The next app we're going to discuss is the Maps app, which just looks like a little map, and you can tap on it, and of course it gives you the same what's new screen, and it will ask for your location, which I would definitely give them. And now it will zoom in on where you live, and I'm just going to scroll out. I don't need anybody snooping on me. And here I can like zoom in on different places, and I can scroll around the map, and it will show me basically anywhere in the world. And in the top left corner there's a search bar, so I can type in, let's see, if I want to go to McDonald's, I'll type in McDonald's, and I can tap on a McDonald's, and it will give me details. I can get directions, it will tell me the hours, and I can get lots of info about that McDonald's. I can also click the little share button if I want to share the McDonald's with somebody by emailing them the link to view where the address is or something. And if I click the X button twice, it will just get me out of these tabs, and it will bring me back to this little search bar. Now one thing that's cool is if I want to find restaurants, I can just tap restaurants. I don't have to be sure which kind of restaurants I want. It will just show me some of the higher rated restaurants in my area. Another cool function, if you hit the I button in the top right corner of your screen, so you can change the map type. You have a standard, a transit, and a satellite map, and you can just easily change between those three map types. The next thing we're going to discuss is the Stocks app, which literally just looks like a little stock graph. You can tap on it. Of course, you get the same welcome screen you get when you open any of your apps for the first time. Just tap continue. Here we have the economic news in the top right corner, and we can tap on a stock to view more info about it and more news about it. And we can hold our finger down on the little stock chart to see where the graph is on certain times, and we can also change, the duration of the graph. And if you want to search for a specific company, tap the search button, type in, for example, Qualcomm, and here I have Qualcomm, and I can tap on it to view the info of that stock. Now if you want to save it to your favorites, just tap add to watch list, and now when you close out of this screen and you scroll down, there you have it for easy access to that stock. Now we're going to show you how to get the weather. Now the iPad doesn't have a built-in weather app, so we're going to download one for free from the App Store. I'm just going to open up the search tab, and I'm going to search for weather. And as you can see, there's several apps. Most of them say get, which means they're free, but if they have a little price, then you'll have to pay for it. So I'm just going to use my Touch ID to download the weather channel and wait for it to install. Alright, now I'm on my home screen, and I can easily open up the weather channel, and I'll wait for it to load, and it's gonna want me to do some little setup for the app, and I'll just tap I understand, and now I'll give it my location and allow it to send me notifications in case there's a weather alert. Now here's gonna tell me the temperature where I live, and here I can have a little chart of the temperatures throughout the day, and if I scroll, I can get, a couple more days and the weather throughout those days. And I'm just gonna go back, and if I want to see the temperature, for example, throughout the week, then I'll just tap daily, and the chart updates. Now I can also tap daily in the bottom, and it will just give me an overview of the weather over a couple days. And if you're more weather geek, then tap radar, and it will give you like the weather radar view, and you can just tap this little back button, and it will load the weather radar throughout a certain period of time. Now I'm gonna go back to the normal weather view, and if I want to see the weather in a certain city, I'll tap the city in the top, and I can just type in a new city, for example, New York, and I can tap on New York, and it will give me all of the weather details for New York. Next, we're going to discuss reminders. So to open up reminders, just open the little checklist icon that says reminders, and we'll open up your reminders app. Just click upgrade later, and here you can make a new reminder just by tapping right under where it says reminders. You'll type in what you want to be reminded about, and you can either set when you want to be reminded by tapping the little clock icon, and here you'll set like what day, or you can tap custom and set a custom date and a time when you want to be reminded of that specific thing. And when you're done, you can just tap this little check right next to your reminder to mark it as complete. Alright, now we're going to discuss how to use the Notes app, which just looks like a notepad. You're going to open it, and you're going to tap continue. And here you can just add a new note by tapping the little right button in the top right of your screen, and you can just tap on the blank space, and you can enter a title for your note, and once you've done that, hit return, and you can enter text for your note. I'm just going to enter some random text, and you can add checkboxes by tapping the little check mark and adding checkboxes. You can also add a picture by tapping the camera icon and taking a picture and adding it to your notes. And you can also add a little drawing by tapping this little pen icon and just drawing whatever you want with your finger. So you can also just tap this little share icon to send your note to somebody, and tap the little back button to see all your notes that you've added in the past. You can search through them and stuff like that. So now let's discuss how to use the clock app. So the clock app just looks like a clock, and when you tap on it, you'll be greeted with the world clock screen, which just shows you what time it is in different parts of the world. If you want to see a certain part of the world, tap the little plus button and in the top right corner of your screen, and you can add a city. And I'm just gonna add this random city in Kazakhstan, and if I tap it, it will tell me what time it is in that city in Kazakhstan right here. And the next screen I can open up is the alarm screen. So if I want to have an alarm clock or something, I'll tap the plus button. I'll set the time I want my alarm to go off at, and I can click save. Now it will give me my alarm, and if I want to turn it off, I'll just hit the little green check so it turns not green. The next screen is the stopwatch, which is basically a typical stopwatch. You know, you start, it gives you the clock, you can set a lap, and you can stop and reset the stopwatch. The final screen is pretty useful. It's a timer. You just set how many hours, minutes, and seconds you want the timer to be, and you hit start, and it will give you a timer. Now even if you shut your device off, you'll still see the timer right here on the lock screen, and you can easily unlock your device at any time to end the timer by tapping done. Alright guys, so just to quickly let you know, basically everything we've covered in this video can be done with Siri. Now Siri is Apple's AI powered voice assistant, and she works by pressing and holding the home button and talking to her. Hi Siri.
Hello.
And you could tell her something like, set a timer for 10 seconds.
Your timer is set for 10 seconds.
And it'll set a timer. Cancel the timer.
I stopped the timer.
And she does a whole host of other things. You just gotta tell her what to do, and she'll listen. Alright guys, I really do hope you learned more about your iPad from this video, and you're starting to feel comfortable using your iPad. If you did learn some stuff from this video, then let me know by hitting the subscribe button down below, and I definitely hope to see you in some of my future iPhone and iPad tutorials. If you have any questions at all, just let me know in the comments down below, and I hope you have a fantastic day, and enjoy your new iPad. Bye.